My name is Chris Stanchak, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Loveseat.com, an online marketplace that aims to make the e-commerce industry more sustainable. At Loveseat, we help consumers in Southern California and Texas buy returned and overstocked inventory from major retailers at discounted prices, giving these items a second life and reducing waste. I'm here today to discuss the vital role of reverse logistics and returns in the e-commerce industry. But before I dive into that, I'd like to give you a little background on our company. My wife, Jenny, and I founded Loveseat with a passion for consumer experiences and marketplaces. Previously, I founded a DIY ticketing platform called TicketLeap, and previously, Jenny was the 7th employee and engineer at the P2P mobile payments platform Venmo. Our diverse backgrounds outside the return goods industry gives us a unique perspective on how to operate Loveseat, and it sets us apart from our competitors. Sustainability is at the core of Loveseat, and we are committed to reducing waste in the e-commerce industry. We only sell returned or overstocked inventory, items that would otherwise be destined for the landfill. Our goal is to eliminate sellable waste in the supply chain before producing any new goods, and we make it a priority to operate in a way that is environmentally responsible. At Loveseat, we found a way to combine our commitment to sustainability with a fun and engaging shopping experience, which is an auction, by the way. We put a lot of work into building a seamless and efficient operation behind the scenes. Our custom warehouse management system and unique operating model allows us to quickly and efficiently move inventory in and out of our warehouses directly to consumers at extremely low prices. This means that our customers can enjoy unbelievable deals on returned and overstocked goods, all while we work to reduce waste and make the e-commerce industry as a whole more sustainable. Now today, I'd like to share some of the lessons that we've learned from working in the return goods industry and provide some ideas for how retailers like yourselves can incorporate sustainability into their operation from the start. By considering the impact of returns and finding ways to reduce waste, retailers can not only do their part to help the environment, but they can also find new opportunities for growth and success of their business. So why is sustainability important for retailers in the first place? Well, there are many reasons, both ethical and practical. By reducing waste and minimizing their environmental impact, retailers can improve their reputation, attract socially conscious consumers, and potentially reduce costs for themselves in the long run. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important for consumers, and taking a proactive approach to environmental responsibility can help retailers stay ahead of the curve on where consumers are going and differentiate themselves in an otherwise crowded market. Now, for a little bit more on that, according to a recent study by the Wharton School, there is a significant gap between the perceptions of senior retail leaders and consumers when it comes to sustainability. In recent years, there has been a major shift in consumer attitudes towards sustainability, with a growing number of people across all generations, from baby boomers all the way to Gen Z, willing to pay more for sustainable products. In fact, recent data shows that nearly 90% of Gen X customers will be willing to spend an extra 10% or more for sustainable options, compared to just 34% 2 years ago. This trend is only expected to continue in the future, making it more important than ever for retailers to consider the role that sustainability plays in their operations. So how does this trend towards sustainability relate to returns? Well, if you think about it, returns are an integral part of an organization's sustainability picture, and how a retailer handles returns can significantly impact how consumers view that brand. By finding sustainable solutions for dealing with returns, retailers can demonstrate their commitment to environmental responsibility, and they can potentially attract more socially conscious consumers. Now, on the other hand, if a retailer is seen as wastefully disposing of returned goods, it can damage their reputation. It can turn off consumers who are looking for sustainable options. In today's increasingly environmentally aware market, it's important for retailers to consider the full life cycle of their products, even after it's sold, including how they handle returns, in order to demonstrate their true commitment to sustainability. In order for retailers to fully embrace sustainability in their operations, it's important to dispel a common myth surrounding returns, probably the biggest. Many retailers believe that selling returned goods will hurt sales of their new items. This is simply not the case and probably the largest thing holding them back. Now, while it's true that there are many consumers who are willing to pay full retail price for an item and they want a perfect, brand new, unscathed item when it arrives at the door, there is a second group of customers, completely distinct, who are perfectly fine with buying returned items even if they have slight imperfections or if the box is damaged. These customers, again distinct, are primarily interested in getting a good deal and would never pay full retail price for the item in the first place. So by making returned goods available to the second group of customers on a secondary market or directly, retailers are not cannibalizing their sales, and in fact they're helping them. This is because if the original customer knows that the retailer is taking great strides to think sustainably with their returns, they are more likely to value and trust that brand. And they even may be willing to spend more, as we've seen. They would have a sense of trust and confidence that the retailer is responsible, and this would build customer loyalty. So if a retailer is fully committed to the idea that making returns available for a sale on a secondary market does not in any way harm their core business, what steps can they take to fully embrace the effort? That's a great question. Well, firstly, it's important to identify who internally at the company is leading the effort and what their goals are. Too often, the returns process is driven by a warehouse manager who just needs space, so he calls his liquidation guy, and when it's time for another load of returns to be disposed of, he calls them up and they're gone. In today's world, that's simply not enough. The focus on bringing sustainability to the returns process needs to be handled by someone centrally, hopefully at the top, who can tap into cross-functional resources to either take on returns disposition directly, which we'll talk about, or work with an innovative partner. For retailers who are particularly ambitious and with resources, they could go even further by starting their own open box program, selling open box return goods alongside their new inboxed items. This demonstrates front and center that a brand values sustainability and is willing to make a significant financial investment in generating the internal expertise to support such a program. By doing this, retailers can show their commitment to sustainability and set themselves apart from their competitors. At Loveseat, we fully support the approach of starting an open box program and selling returned goods alongside new items. But we also understand that it can be a significant effort and might not have a positive return on investment for the business. That's why we've created our secondary marketplace at Loveseat.com, where consumers can purchase returned goods from a variety of retailers all in one place. We believe that this format of outsourcing to the secondary market to a player 100% focused on this model is the best of both worlds, as it can be ROI positive while still taking sustainability seriously. So aside from leadership and focus, what else should retailers be doing when partnering with a platform for a secondary marketplace? This answer is probably going to make you feel uncomfortable, but retailers need to open up the data that they have internally with their partners. They can't just send them trucks of random things. This will help their partners get the best results from their sales. This includes sharing information around the return itself, as well as product catalog information. If you think about it, a partner's job is to maximize what they can recover for the return. And if a retailer provides them with robust data around the return, as well as details around the specific item, it will best equip that partner to efficiently sell the item for the highest price possible. This will also make the new end customer happy as they're getting exactly what they paid for. It will also help the margins on the return, which will increase the recovery that your partner can pay back to you. By providing data access to a partner, retailers can help improve the customer experience and drive more sales through a more efficient and effective sales process. So as we're here today, most retailers consider product data to be proprietary, or they're just simply unwilling to make the financial investment to share this information with a secondary market provider in the first place. We believe that this mentality is going to need to change if you want to build an efficient and sustainable ecosystem. Finally, there's an issue with minimum advertised price, known as MAP. Many vendors have MAP in place with retailers today. We believe it's important for retailers to demand that their vendors make a specific carve out for the sale of returned goods. As noted previously, returns are not competitive at scale with the primary market. So any effort around sustainability for our brand will be met with positive response from customers who are now willing to spend even more for the same goods. So this actually helps the brand and helps the vendor. So by including a carve out for the sale of returned goods in MAP agreements, retailers can ensure that they can sell their returns at the right prices while still maintaining the integrity of their primary market pricing strategy. Many of you may be wondering, why do we need to change the way returns have been handled? After all, Bob's Liquidators is making items disappear from the warehouse. The simple fact of the matter is you just don't know what Bob's Liquidators is doing with your items. And I apologize if there's really a Bob's Liquidators. It's just a fictitious example. But in reality, many of these items end up in a landfill as they aren't the highest grade needed to go into a home consignment center style store that's cherry picking the good stuff. Alternatively, some retailers simply leave the item with the original buyer and send them a replacement. The assumption is that the consumer will happily list it on Craigslist or find a friend who would like the item. Now, unfortunately, this is not a convenient solution for consumers, and it actually is very financially unattractive for a retailer. And oftentimes, these items once again end up in the landfill because the person just throws it away. This brings us to our worst offender of all, which is retailers who just leave it up to the LTL carrier to dispose of the item, assuming that they'll sustainably dispose of it or find a buyer. Once again, these items end up in the trash. So even if you have no particular interest in sustainability or the environment, as business managers, we all need to consider public perceptions. The last thing any retailer needs is a New York Times story about how cheap furniture is ending up in a landfill. This causes immense negative impact for your brand for years to come if this ever happens. So the time is now to take action and get serious about addressing the sustainability problems created by the e-commerce industry. There is a multitude of options available, ranging from a massive investment in managing your own open box program yourself, all the way to just getting more deeply integrated with a strategic and innovative partner in the liquidation side. All these efforts, doesn't matter which, all of them will make the world a better place and will improve the way consumers look at your brand. The only action not to take is inaction. I appreciate your time today. And if you've enjoyed the presentation, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me anytime to talk about it at chris@loveseat.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the show.